Name's Roger Boaty. Mr. George Roger Boaty.
Good evening, darlings, and as usual, the prospect of being with you for the next hour has brought me to the point of, incredibly exciting climax. Yes, I am indeed on the point of orgasm, exactly as we speak. Welcome to Thursday Night Live, my darlings, where I will once again be coming live in your eyes and ears, direct here from Windy Bottom in the Peak District National Park, where it's gone a bit bloody chilly. I mean, the days are lovely, but my God, the nights are still cold. I've got my heating on. I've actually got my heating on. Well, I've always kind of got my heating on, but I mean, the heating has actually come on because the temperature has fallen below that which I have set as acceptable for my continued well-being. But yes, we are, there is a little warmth there, and I've got my spring fleece on. How are you, darlings? How is everybody? How is it? Do you mind, please? Trying to broadcast here. How has your day been? I'd love to hear about it. What have you been up to? What have you had for dinner, of course? And are you having a little drinky? Are you joining me in a small Thursday night libation, perhaps? Cheers, darlings. Now then. Oh, Matt _ Good evening to you, Steve Cole. Good evening. What's the impression in your last video, Kermit? I've got absolutely no idea, Steve. I don't know what I was doing or why. Barry, good evening to you. Glad your face is feeling better. And sorry to hear that your video is somewhat on the wonk. And a video on your car history would be very welcome. Matt has got 65 views on his potato video. Is that on YouTube then? Have you actually got a video on YouTube? You kept that quiet, didn't you? Are you now a community channel? One wonders. 0 likes though. Oh well, welcome to my world. Evening all, says Trace. Good evening to you. Cheeseburger is in our midst and says, I hope Boaty is better. Do you know, I don't know whether it's just because I had a really good day yesterday and I was quite excited about today. I do feel a little bit better, actually. So hopefully I'm on the mend and turning the corner and all of that. And Matt, I hate it when people are insulting and really funny all at the same time. Hope Boaty is better, says Cheeseburger, to which underscore responds, well, Cheeseburger, we all hope that. But 127 live streams and 504 videos say different. God, is it really 127 live streams? I haven't, have I? Bloody hell. Trace says, Matt, your Spud vid should have been the start of your YouTube channel journey. Oh, was it not then? Is it not on YouTube? Oh, right. Oh, I'm a little bit gutted about that. Evening, Boatman and Company, says Stephen S. Paul, our friend from across the herring pond. Oh my God, says Trace, and Boaty farted. I did not. I would never do that. You know me better than that. It must have been a chair squeaking or something. I would never do such a thing. Not on a live. That would be outrageous. And even if I did, it's not my fault because the opening music should have covered it up. And I'm really annoyed that it didn't. Either he's hit the wine early, says Cheeseburger, or that's only half a glass. It's only half a glass. I'm starting slowly. But I do seem to be getting back on wine form, so that's good. And I'm starting to get excited about food again, so that's even better. I'm thinking tomorrow, I'm considering going to Toll Bar Fish and Chips for lunch. I've never been there, and I'd like to know if it's an overrated and overpriced chip shop that is successful and highly regarded purely because of its location. It's in the old toll house in Stony Middleton. You'll have seen me drive past it a million times. So I'd like to know if it's that or whether it's actually a really good fish and chip shop and a bit of a hidden gem. And I haven't had chips for ages and I haven't got anything else particularly planned for lunch. So thinking I might do that. Take one of the cars out there, have an al dente lunch somewhere. Yeah, maybe. Hello, says Simone of Hooked on Classics, and hello to you and see how you like it. Matt says it absolutely made my day that the start of the video today's was Paul pointing out Boaty didn't make up the name. Mustard is a legend. I don't need Mustard to give you credit, Matt. I always give you credit for your wonderful names. Or at least I think I do anyway. But I agree, Mustard is a legend. He didn't like my hat. He wasn't at all impressed by my hat. And he wasn't impressed by my driving either. He was genuinely frightened. He was frightened. He was frit. He was afeared. And of course, I find that very amusing. Where is Simon? Asked Trace. There is a folder that he needs to see. I've got serious folder news, darlings. I'm in my element with all of this. I'll tell you about all of that in a minute. I'll just pat it for now. Look, I'm patting it. Oh, Simone, I'm sorry to hear that. Serious anxiety problems right now. Oh, dear. Is he cold? Asked Cheeseburger. Yes, I am. Trace gives Simone a gentle hug. We'll all give Simone a gentle hug. I think quite a few of us suffer similarly on occasion. So absolutely, we're here to give you an anxiety relieving hug. Hugs are good. They work for all sorts of things. And what's the only thing that's better than a hug? A cwtch. A Welsh hug. Now, a cwtch can cure almost anything. 1 o'clock here. Defo, says Trace. Surprisingly, says Matt, I've had pie. I saw your pies and they look jolly appetising. Tricia Alderman is here. How lovely. Hello, Tricia. Good evening, Boaty and everyone. Oh, cheeseburger had bangers and mash. Oh, God. See, now, I fancied that today and I've still got those 2 bangers. Should I go out tomorrow morning and get a potato and have bangers and mash instead of a chippy treat? Or should I use Matt's kindly gifted McDonald's receipt and have a Big Mac and fries as a super duper treat? Gosh, the possibilities are endless, aren't they? The culinary world really is my lobster. Oh, hello, Rob's with us. Goodness gracious me. Mr. B&B, of course, and just a reminder that double rooms are for married couples only, and there is a £10 per person supplement for a cooked breakfast. Were you up to mischief on the Leicester Toy Channel live stream earlier? No, I wasn't, but I think young Matt was. No. I think somebody was. Yeah, because I got a message about it, but no, I wasn't. I've been a good boy. I've been to work, and I did the driving home challenge thingy in freestyle fanny, and it didn't go well. No disasters or anything, just traffic, and I didn't overtake this car. It was a new style Ford KA, you know, the one that's a Fiat 500 in disguise. And I had a couple of opportunities. I don't know. It didn't strike me as a particularly confident nighttime driver. And I didn't want to go roaring past in a super noisy MGTF in case it kind of spooked them. And it's, you know, it's a really narrow lane and you need them to cooperate and not panic when they see you and lurch to the right. And it was dark, and I just thought it was, all in all, it was a risk not worth taking for a challenge that's a bit of fun. So I don't know what, you know, nobody's supposed to die for the driving home challenge thingy. And no cars are supposed to be injured. So yeah, so I just kind of poodled, no idea what the time was, but it's quite good fun that the first MGF time posted is going to be a time where there's room for improvement. So that's fun. You'll see what it is on well, whenever I put it out, which is planned to be Monday, I think. Yeah, probably Monday night. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Oh, Dorothy, 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 please trim your minge. Won't you cut your fanny fringe? Your pubic hair makes me despair. Kindly cut that thing down there. No, definitely not a community channel. Open bracket, yet, close bracket, says Matt. Oh, Joe Cox, JCO2 Wax. Good evenings, Boaty. Hope you had a great day. I've had a splendid day. Well, I'm delighted to hear that, Joe. Do tell us all about it. What has made it splendid? I haven't worked out how many lives, says Matt. I just made up figures like the made up insult. Oh, fair enough. Can't argue with that. I'm all in favour of making things up. Oh, and Simone says that she doesn't deal well with confrontation, is the specific worry. And I think, well, lots of people don't do well with confrontation, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, although obviously if confrontation is imminent, then that's going to be anxiety inducing, I suppose. Is there any way to mitigate, work around, or generally avoid said confrontation, I wonder? If you feel like it, Simone, throw it out there and we will throw our collective lack of wisdom at it and give you some really bad ideas. Oh, it is on YouTube, the potato video, says Matt, but I'm not a community channel yet. If you've got a channel and you're definitely part of the community, I would say that makes it a community channel. Spag bowl for tea, says Mark, and a lovely sunny day. Good that you're feeling better. Thank you. Oh, shit. Oh. Cheeseburger says, I hate confrontation as well, Simone. Having problems with my business partner and it's horrible. Oh dear, sympathies there. Yeah, that can be very difficult, the old business disagreements. Fish and chips, have you won the pools? Asked Cheeseburger. Well, it wouldn't be fish and chips. I was using that as a generic term because I don't eat fish, what with being a vegetarian and everything. On, grounds of, well, I'm not in favour of cruelty to living creatures, basically. And I don't think that any animal should have to die just so we can have a meal when there are alternatives. But that's just me, not trying to push my views on anybody else. So it would be probably sausage and chips, which would be cheaper with a bit of curry sauce. But yeah, it's still an expensive treat, but I sold some gloves. And that reminds me, I was supposed to send them tonight and I haven't and I won't. So I might have to have a trip to the post office tomorrow and get them sent. Yeah, might have to do that. Might just have to do that. Oh, it's not bad, says Barry, who presumably has been to the Toll Bar fish and chips place. My choice would be Pizza Connection in Matlock. Well, it wouldn't be mine. I'm not mad. Well, I don't mind pizza. But it needs to be a proper Italian pizza, as in no cheese, proper pizza doesn't have cheese, and not served hot, served at room temperature, left to cool and pizza should just be good dough with tomatoes, olive oil, herbs, bit of spice, and, whatever else you want to throw on it. UK pizza holds no great. Ugh. And it's so expensive. Pizza is so expensive. I haven't had a pizza for, 10 years minimum. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Black Lions. Yeah, fair enough, Matt. I'm glad you enjoyed Mustard leaping right in. Cheeseburger says, it looked like that MX-5 came into the apex too tight. Might be camera angle. Yeah, it wasn't clear on the video. What actually happened was, he must have lost his arse on the first turn of the chicane. So, when he came into the right-hand bend, he was hanging his arse out. His arse was sliding, and it was sliding. It was out to the right, and then he kind of tried to steer into it, throw it back. It was on the wrong side of the road. He was just generally out of shape, as cars often tend to be. They barrel into that chicane thinking, if they don't know it, thinking that, oh, this will be fun. And it's a bastard of a little curve. There's just, week in, week out, there are accidents there. In winter, it's a nightmare because it's an ice trap and a snow trap, again, as you've seen from the videos. But in summer, when you get the enthusiastic drivers, just as much. And I feel dreadfully sorry for whichever farmer owns the adjacent fields, because the number of times they've had to repair that wall, although I suppose it would be on courtesy of the car driver's insurance. So they probably make a fortune every time that somebody goes through that wall. But honestly, more weeks than not, there will be a car through the wall and in the pond that's immediately behind the wall. And if it's not through that wall, it'll be behind the one on the other corner. I was more concerned about that knob overtaking the cyclist on a corner. Yeah, he was a total knob, I agree. Yay to a cutch, says Trace. Oh, Steve's with us. Ollie Owls. Good evening to you, sir. In my opinion, says Simone, hugs are better than a poddering. Oh, controversial. Controversial. Now then, are hugs better than a poddering? Well, I suppose in an ideal world, the two wouldn't be mutually exclusive, would they? You could hug and it could turn into a poddering, or you could have a jolly nice poddering and then have a nice hug afterwards. But I totally get where you're coming from. You know, a hug is almost, actually, thinking about this, a hug is almost invariably like, oh, how to describe it? It's kind of touching and meant with affection or love or the best of intentions, or meant to be comforting. It's meaningful. It's meaningful. And poddering isn't always, especially if you're a fan of sports poddering, you know, poddering for poddering's sake, where you might not have that emotional connection with the person that you are poddering or who is poddering you. Whereas you don't often get a hug where there isn't some genuine connection and affection behind it. I mean, ideally, a poddering would always contain that as well, but it doesn't always, does it? Let's face it, even when you're in a relationship, you could be having a fallout with your partner, but you're both still horny. So you get it on, but you don't like each other at the time that you're doing it. So I totally get where you're coming from there, Simone. Matt can say, oh right, yeah, for the sausage and mash. Can I read? I don't know what that is, Stephen S. Paul. Chryso, says Barry. Wales is a wonderful place and the people are great. I agree. Cardiff equals a fantastic night out. Does it? I mean, I know Cardiff has all been done up since I had a night out there. Cardiff used to mean getting very drunk and then having curry and chips at a fight on Caroline Street. I mean, I was in Cardiff a couple of times with Chinese Madam, and it did look a lot more cosmopolitan and international and done up than when I used to go there, you know, going way back. I used to pop into the outskirts of Cardiff when I was separated from Mags and living in the cottage. I used to pop into the casino on the way back from work, on the way home to the cottage. That was a hell of a commute. 120-mile commute each way. Thank you very much. But that was kind of on the outskirts, on one of the retail parks by the marina somewhere. So it wasn't Cardiff. Yes, indeed, Rob. Yes, it was Roger Boaty who was all over the toy thing. A hidden message. Freestyle Fanny went tits up. Yes, it did go. It did kind of go tits up, but hey ho, at least she's on the board. I thought I'd better get one on there. I thought I'd better get one in, Fanny. Well, I could, because hopefully Fanny won't be with me very much longer. Hopefully somebody will come along and do the sensible thing and buy her. and my God, they'll be getting a fantastic car. I found out some more things about Faddy tonight, taking her to work and using her in the dark. Cracking car, really cracking car. Greetings, Boaty and everybody else et al. Says Liz, who has kind of been a bit AWOL recently. I imagine that Liz is tremendously busy with her latest PhD, or 3, or however many she's doing. Opinions, please, says Simone. Okay, here we go. Property was left at my home by a friend. Almost 2 years later, and said property had still not been collected. What would you do? Anxiety, confrontation, bells ringing. Gosh. Now then, what would we do? 2 years down the line. Other people may have already answered this. It depends what they are, I suppose. I mean, obviously you'd try and get in touch with the friend and sort of say, look, don't forget that your shit is still here. And, you know, how much of an inconvenience is it? Is it just something tucked away at the back of a wardrobe? Or is it something major that's taken up space that you would rather not be taken up, or something like that? In which case, then I suppose it's, look, get in touch with them and say, look, been hanging on to it for ages, really need it to go now. So help me out. Do you want it, or do you want me to just bung it? If you need it, you know, happy to help out with organising, getting it to you or to somewhere else for storage or whatever. But I kind of need it gone now. If you just want rid of it, don't worry, I'll take care of that. I'll sell it for you and send you the money, or take it to the tip or whatever. Invoice for storage, says Black Lines. Anybody interested, says Liz. What? Oh, bloody hell. Oh, hell's teeth. Right, to anyone interested, says our lovely Liz. It's been a tough couple of weeks. Very busy. And a full mental health breakdown coming out of it now. Bloody hell. Oh God, Liz, well, hugs again. Gosh, Liz, you know where I am, darling. If you need if you need a little break, or a shoulder to rant at, or just a nice lunch and a bit of an escape from it, you know where I am. You know where we all are. We're all around. You know that. Some answers for Simone. Oh, apparently this is about live stream number 120. Tracy's sending massive hugs to Liz. More gentle hugs for you, and I hope your mind is on the mend, 1 hour at a time. Here. Yeah, some good advice heading Simone's way. Cheeseburger says, don't animals die to make sausages or Big Macs? No, they don't, Cheeseburger. The thing with fish and seafood is you eat the whole thing, right? So that animal is definitely going to cough it. So you can have your fish and chips, or your lobster, or your prawn, or whatever the hell it is you're eating, right? Sausages, Big Macs, stuff like that, that's just a bit of mince, isn't it? That could be, the animal doesn't have to die for that. You just take a bit of them. It's like falling off your bike. If you fall off your bike and lose a chunk out of your leg or your arm or whatever, like we used to when we were kids, you didn't die, did you? No, you just went home crying. Your mother put Dettol on it and told you to be a big boy. And you went back out playing again. Well, that's how it works with animals. You know, it's like bacon. Bacon is fine. You can eat bacon. No problem with that. It's a slice. It's like peeling a potato. You just take a slice off the pig, stick a plaster on it, the pig will recover, no problem at all. Whereas everybody who eats fish or seafood are murdering bastards. And Trace says, good points. Not intended at me, but I'm taking them as as good points for me. Last time I had a pizza delivery, says Simone, it was over 20 squid. Never again. How many people was that for, Simone? If that was just for one or two, then that is indeed outrageous. It is, it's so expensive. And, you know, pizza is something that you can make yourself and make it better. Now that is something I did used to do. I used to make pizzas for the kids and for myself, and they were quite good. You can make them how you want them, and it's not like they're difficult. Pizza for one is 8 quid, says Cheeseburger. I had it this Sunday. Oh, okay. Underscore says, oh hello, he's let us in some secrets here. I used to like to cuddle my fiance after pottering. Oh, this isn't going to go well, is it? Annoyingly, it meant I had to leave the girlfriend's bed first. Right, okay. I've had a great day, says Joe. Has had a drive out of my mum's Mini Cooper to get my brother's new Cooper S, and we had great fun. Driving home and enjoying the sun and road. Good for you. It's impossible to hug after a pottering, says Blacklines. Too hot. Well, nobody likes to show off, Mark, do they? Bloody hell. Yeah, I remember answering a multiple choice question, and it was hugging and intimacy after sex is A, the best part of the experience, B, the second best part of the experience, or C, £30 extra. Oh, dear. Right, I'm not reading that one out, Cheeseburger, although that is a very good Maclad's doings. What's the word? Lyric. That's the word I was looking for. Oh, well, that was quick. Simone has sent a message to said person and the shit is going yes. Hurrah! Oh, well, great success. Cheeseburger says, send some lovely thoughts to Liz and hopes that she's coping. And as do we all, and again, you know where I am, and you know where we all are, and you know, in this virtual world, none of us need to deal with anything entirely alone if we don't want to, because, you know, even if there isn't real life stuff, we're all here, and it means something. I'm sure it does. It certainly means a hell of a lot to me, and I'm sure it does to lots of you, and not just this thing, the whole virtual thing, the whole virtual world that we all half live in now. And, you know, let's face it, I think a lot of the time these days, relationships or acquaintanceships that are virtual or that start out virtually, a lot of the time they're a lot more meaningful than those which we have with workmates or people that we meet on the school run or friends, because, you know, they come through logistic convenience, you know, the fact that you work with them, or that you meet them every day on school run, or, you know, they're your neighbours or something. Whereas your virtual people, they're people that you choose. You've got a whole world to choose from, and you choose them. So they've got to be special, haven't they, in some way? I've got no idea why I'm doing this, and I wish I'd stop. Bum bum bum, diddly do, diddly do. Diddly do. Diddly do. Glad you're coming out of it, Liz. Bless you. Reminds me of the Ken Dodd joke about the three-legged pig that you wouldn't eat all at once. Ah, yes, indeed. Is anyone else having issues with the chat, asks Matt. Switch back and forth to topping all messages, but still not seeing every comment. I'm leaving it well alone, Matt, because I can't make head or tail of it, no matter what I do. Well, every time I change it, it goes doolally and I start losing stuff. As far as I can tell, the best bet is to leave it alone and do your best. Not that I'm an expert on these things. Not that I'm an expert on anything, really. Right, okay. So, as we've discovered before, then many of us suffer with either chronic or periodic depression, anxiety, and everything related to that. So again, don't ever feel that you need to disguise it or gloss over it. Not with us. It's not like none of you are sitting amongst people who don't suffer from what you suffer. So it's not like nobody will understand or empathize, because God knows we're all in the same bloody boat, aren't we? Or if we're in different boats, we're all trying to stay afloat on the same ocean. So yeah, you know, if you feel like it, let it out. Let it out. Sometimes, more often than not, I would say that helps. Now, why have I got this pile in front of me and what have I been up to today? Well, darlings, I have been playing with and making a little bit of content with new car, Melanie Minge Bag. Melanie Minge Bag. Betty Blue or Melanie Minge Bag. I still haven't absolutely decided. And I'll tell you what, darlings. Now, obviously Mustard brought it back from Graham's. And I just whizzed it round the block very quickly. I took Minge Bag. I can't call her Melanie Minge Bag. I don't know where that came from. It just popped into my mind last night. Betty Blue was the name I had in mind. So, yeah, to remind you, this is 2003 limited edition MGTF Cool Blue SE. And today I took it out for a bit of a thrash. I took it to Shillito Woods. Got a little bit of content. Haven't started cleaning it or anything yet. It's absolutely filthy. It's full of crap. But I tell you this, I reckon I might have hit the jackpot with this car. I really do. And the more I look into it, the more I see. I started having a quick look at the old paperwork, because you know what I'm like with paperwork. I absolutely love it. Oh, a load of messages have just popped up. Oh dear. Yeah, so what have we learned about this car? Right, well, there is service history and documentation literally going back to day one, and it is a relatively local car. Now, when I showed you the key ring yesterday, somebody said, and I apologise, I can't remember who it was, but somebody said, I bet that's the original key ring of the supplying dealer. Well, whoever said that, you were right. The car was originally supplied by Horners Eccles Limited of Eccles, Manchester. So, Melanie Minchba, Betty Blue here, is very much a sister car, younger sister to Wetleg, who is also a Manchester car. So things are starting to align here. That the universe and the FSM and the General Forces intended the car to end up here. So we've got original service records. First service at 4,000, 15,000, 21,000, 27,000, by which time it had moved to Bradford, 34,000, Bradford again, 35,000, I think. Barnsley Rover Specialist. Then 51,560 in Rotherham. Head gasket and timing belt replaced. Oil changed and antifreeze. And I think that is as far as the service book goes. But original service book, which of course on these is also the driver's handbook, with the nice MG wallet, darlings. Do check that out. But then, on top of that, oh, it was you, Joe. There you go. There you go. Well, you're quite right. But then on top of that, we've got all of this. And there was one in a doings. Where was it? Oh, I think it's this lot here. Now, I haven't gone through all of these, but, well, let me... Can you see all of those? Can you see how thick that is? Those are all MOT certificates. So let's have a look at the first one, shall we? So the first MOT would have been due, it's a 2003 car. First MOT would have been due in 2006. Ha! April 24th, 2006. So, I strongly suspect that what we've got there, darlings, is every single MOT from new. Now, in a sense, that doesn't really mean anything, but it shows continuity of care to some degree, and it's just a really nice thing to have, a complete MOT history. How fabulous is that? I'm watching this so Simon doesn't have to. They're not speeding notices, Cheeseburger. What else have we got? But I was interested to look at some recent stuff. Where was it? No, hang on. You know, it's interesting trying to piece together the history of a car. Now, there's bills from going back all the way. So the car's obviously been cared for. Now, where did I see? Here we are. Now, I think this is there's yet another MOT there, but I think this is the most recent sales invoice. And it looks like the previous owner bought the car on the 6th of August of last year. So relatively recently, and paid. The car had done 72,000 miles, and he paid, and it was bought from Cliff something cars, Hunter Park, I think that's S18, so that's Sheffield Way, Dronfield Way, and he paid £1,750 quid last August, right? Not that long ago. Let's keep that in mind. But what was interesting after that, so he's bought the car. It's not super expensive for a TF, but it's not like bargain basement either. But my God, he spent some money on it since then. What have we got here? Well, he's MOT'd it for a start. There's he spent £60 having somebody fit a part that he'd already bought, and they charged him £60 to fit it. Unfortunately, I don't know what that part was. Then we've got, now this is interesting. Now this is last, so he bought it in August. He bought it in August, and this is in October, the 18th of October. And this is a known place in Derby. Head gasket replacement, another one, including water pump and tensioner, radiator fan, and front bumper splitter fitted. So in October of last year, it had head gasket done, new water pump, new tensioner, and that was a total of £468.85 just in October of last year. So, you know, there's a right few quid already, isn't it? Then we've got this here. K-Maps Remap Certificate. This is to certify that registration, Melanie Minchbag, has received a K-Maps ECU upgrade to enhance power, fuel economy and response. And there's a bill to go with that somewhere that I saw, and that was about another £500. Then we've got then we've got another £400 on tyres, 75 quid on a battery, and there's more and more and more. So basically, he's bought this car for the best part of, well, $1 3/4 grand, and he's then just thrown money at it. He's had head gasket done, new tyres all round, whatever, water pump, tensioner, a 500 quid ECU remap, and then from looking at the car, haven't looked for the bills and whatever yet. I can only apologise. He's had LED lights fitted inside and outside, and even the pin lights in the mirror have been replaced with LEDs. He's had new speakers fitted all around. He's had a new DAB, Bluetooth, all singing, all dancing head unit fitted. He's thrown a fortune at this car, an absolute fortune. And so, yeah, and it drives in. The brakes have been done as well. It's got the big brake conversion. I've got that on the video. Massive great discs on the front, huge calipers, and the brakes are unbelievable. I mean, they're unbelievable by any standards, but by MGF standards, they're a bloody revelation. And the car drives fantastically, absolutely fantastically. Now, it needs an incredibly good clean up and tidy out and all of that. But I reckon totally hit the jackpot with this car. You know, it must have had 4,000 quid thrown at it in the last 9 months. And it drives like it has as well. I found, what else did I find? Sorted out the spare key. There's a fob to go with the key, which needs a battery and maybe programming, but obviously that's not a problem. It's just everything, it's all there. It's absolutely fabulous. And it drives like a bloody dream. What else has been done inside? It's had new gear lever gaiter, new handbrake gaiter, you know, all the little things that all add up. It's just had so much. And then just a combination of the issue with the fan causing an isolated minor overheat that won't have done any lasting damage at all, and the poor sod being taken through a divorce, just led him to dump the car at an enormous financial loss. But his loss is somebody else's gain. So I'm really looking forward to getting to grips more and more with this car. I'm going to get starting tomorrow. I'm going to give it an incredible clean up, see how good I can make it look. Still doing some work on Fanny as well, of course, and possibly going to the toll bar fish and chip shop. Who knows? Yeah, but Melanie Mingebag here, Betty Blue here. What a car! What a bloody car! And so yeah, hit the jackpot, fallen on our feet. So yeah, we'll see where we go with it, what happens. But it's I think it's going to be sensational. It's just got that issue with the fan, which hasn't caused me any problems. You know, I imagine it would only cause a problem if it was sitting in traffic for a period. I mean, obviously it needs sorting, but the fan works. It's just not cutting in. So it's just finding out what's causing that. It can't be too major a thing. Get the old P scan on it. Get mustard on it, maybe get the boys down at the garage on it. But, you know, my immediate thought now is that it's the right colour. It's a hell of a car. I wanted a TF to go with the F. So my immediate thought is keep it, sell one of the others. But we'll see what happens. I mean, as with any of the talking about cars for sale, Fanny is for sale, remember. Come and buy her. If you want to bid me on the Mighty Derrick, the L Series Diesel 25, it's for sale. Bid me on it. I'm not actively trying to sell it because it's useful to me at the moment. But if you want it and you want to come and give me a bid, I'll sell it to you. And the same goes for Melanie Mingebag. If anybody wants to come and bid me on it, as it is at the moment, you're welcome to give me a bid, and if you give me a drink on top of what I paid for it, then could be yours. Otherwise, I shall continue with it, and maybe there'll be a bit of shenanigans, and it'll end up, or she will end up being a permanent member of the fleet. I love the extent of the history that I've got with it. I love the car. Oh God, it drives so well. And I really mean so well. Maybe I've not looked at the content yet. Maybe you'll get a little idea on the video that will probably go out tomorrow. But anyway, there we are. Oh, and Stigbürt update. Stigbürt update. The parts have arrived. The parts have arrived. So that's good. And now it's just waiting until the lads get a minute to fit them. That'll be done. You know the score. I'm sure you've all got garages like this. They look after me. They will do their proper work and fit in my stuff around it. So I don't know when Stigbürt will be done. I would imagine at some point next week. But at least the stuff is there for him to be done now. And Mustard and I have got a plan with the seat. The windscreen will just be an insurance job when I've got him roadworthy. Mustard has got an airbag ECU that hasn't deployed, so we're going to dig that out. Kevin very kindly delivered a driver's seat with an undeployed airbag, so we'll dig that out, get those fitted, and then it'll just be a question of getting a trimmer to do the repair on the seat, and hopefully Stigbürt will be as good as new again. So there we are. Now let's see what I've been missing from you lovely people. My brother, says Mark, has left his car on our drive for coming up for 10 years. Oh gosh, that is an awkward situation indeed. Joe, it was Joe who spotted the dealership keyring. Well done, Joe, you were dead right. I'm so very sad that Simon, Project MGTF, is missing this hot folder action. Well, there's more hot folder action because I've been swapping the hot folders. This is the folder that came with Melanie Minge bag, but this is now the folder for Freestyle Fanny, which freed up this folder, which I bought bought a couple of these as sort of low rent versions of my full leather jobs for the more temporary cars. And this was going to be for Melanie Minge bag, but I'm thinking that there's so much history with Minge bag that I might actually upgrade her to a full leather one, namely Brian Johnston, and Brian, who hasn't got so much of a history, and Brian Johnston will inhabit this. So loads of folder news there, and I'm glad Simon's not here because all he'd do is take the piss out of it. Well, he'll do that anyway, won't he? When he catches up with this. So I don't care. Folders and paperwork make me happy, and I am very happy. There's even a spare MGTF handbook and plastic folder. I needed one of these plastic folders, can't remember what for. This is for a different card, it's for a 160, and I suspect, I don't know, but I suspect it might be one that Graham has just bought for yet another of his projects, in which case he might want this back. But I've definitely got a use for this. I mean, they're horrible, but they are original and complete. So, yeah, that might find its way onto one of the fleet. I think Brian Johnston might need one. Stigbürt might. I can't remember. We'll check all of that out another day. Anyway, it's all exciting, isn't it? One of the best things about buying a card is the folder full of receipts. I get very disappointed if there isn't one. Yes, Mark. You and me, we are like that. We understand each other. It is the best thing, especially when it's not, you can get really anal about it and really organised. But I love it. I love piecing together the car's history. and most of mine have got exceptional histories. Shison is from day one. Miss Boo is from day one. Stigbürt not so much. Brian not so much. But Mingebag here from day one. What other cars are there? Wetleg. Wetleg's got great history. It's all very exciting indeed. How much do you want for it, say Stephen S. Paul? Well, you're the wrong side of the bloody Atlantic, mate, aren't you? I always keep the bill, says Cheeseburger. It does make a difference. The best money I was offered for the wife's low mileage 6-year-old cash cow was a dealer that wanted to retail it and wanted all the history. Mark says Simon is missing out here. It really is. A lot of garages get rid of the history now due to GDPR. They're not allowed to give out the previous owner's name, address, etc. So they just burn it if they can't be asked to blank out the addresses. That's what happened with Fanny. That's what happened with Fanny's history, which is really, really annoying. But there you go. There you go. It has just gone and it can't be got back. I checked. It was actually destroyed, which is a great shame, but there we are. Never understood remapping, says Cheeseburger. The best map is the one out of the factory and doesn't invalidate the warranty. I don't think it always is. Sometimes they would low map a model in order that if you wanted increased performance, you'd have to pay more for another model. And the only difference is the map. So, to my mind, mapping to what would have been a factory map anyway, see no harm in that. Looks like the parts cannon has been fired at Melanie. Welcome to Boaty's maiden burp and all who sail in her. A remap transformed my Audi, says Cheeseburger. Well worth the 200 quid, not bothered about a warranty on a 12-year-old car. He spent a lot on Willie, says Joe. Brilliant car by the sound of it. Oh, poor old Betty Blue. She's been called all sorts of things. If you had a choice, says Cheeseburger, who would you enter first? Melanie or Fanny? Honestly, Cheeseburger, no question. It would be Melanie Mingebag. As soon as I jumped into that car. Now, when we went to look at it, and it's just this car with a potentially serious problem, and it's full of shit, literally full of crap everywhere, and I just thought, as soon as I jumped in and drove it, I thought, hello, this is special. It would be Melanie. But Mustard, on the other hand, Mustard went for Fanny of the two. So, and I would concede that objectively, Fanny is a better car than Betty Blue, Melanie Mingebag, Willie, whatever we're calling him, her. But yeah, I've kind of fallen for the Mingebag. In the days to come, I'll show you around it, and maybe you'll agree with me, maybe you won't, maybe you think that Fanny is the one. The problem with Fanny, of course, is the colour, and that's why I can't get completely excited about it, because I know that even in theory, Fanny could never be part of the. But Fanny is too perfect. Fanny is too nice. I'm not the right home for Fanny. Whereas Melanie Mingebag is, she's flawed at the moment. She's flawed. she's unloved, she's rejected, and that ticks all of my boxes. And I know that sounds dodgy, but yeah, it does. So I've connected with Betty Blue, because Fanny is just a car that's been done, loved. It's had love, attention. It's a lovely car, and it'll be a brilliant car for somebody. It would be a brilliant car for many, many people, but it hasn't. I haven't connected with it in the way that, you know, I connect with imperfections, and I'm a bit like Mustard. I want to give love where others have only given neglect. And, you know, that's easily done when you're poor and buy cars on a ridiculously tight budget. But Minge Bag just, everything just fits into the fleet so perfectly. Unloved, rejected, the right colour, massive history, a history of love, even if neglect has been the most recent. And it's a double rejection, because Put On Minge Bag was rejected by the owner who spent all of that money, sold her to Graham, who in turn who also rejected her, and she found her way to us. So, you know, I have this weird thing. I think things are meant to be. And I think Melanie Minge Bag was supposed to end up right there in the pits. But I am aware that Wetleg will possibly be feeling left out. So I need to give Wetleg some love. But then I'm planning to take Wetleg to Llandudno on Monday. She was always the card of choice. So, you know, that will show her how special she is. Oh dear. Oh, Mark's going for an early night. Have a good one, everyone. Oh, Simone did a live earlier. Yeah, I watched a bit of it, Simone, when I was on a fag break at work. Mark on motoring. Good evening, Boaty. Just finished work. Hope you're feeling better. I am feeling a little better. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think turn the corner, on the mend, that sort of thing. Mustard the Muff Magnet prefers Fanny. He does indeed. And well, yeah, Mustard is a Fanny magnet after all. Quite right. My height prevents me from buying Fanny, says Matt. You're only an inch or two taller than me. You wouldn't have a problem in Fanny. If you can drive the streetwise, you can drive Fanny. You'd have a problem in Wetleg, but you wouldn't have. You would have no problem in Fanny. So find another excuse. Oh, Mike, Classic Wheels Wales, splendid. How you doing, mate? Hope you're well. We need to have a chat and have a catch up. Crikey Boaty, says Cheeseburger. You need to rename the channel Swiss Tony's Car Sales. Ross is here, Dinosaur Dad. Hello Boaty and everyone, just on a quick tea break. There we are. There we are. There we are. So I think we're about caught up, darling. So I think we'll leave it at that. Yes, it's gone midnight. I'm sure you've all got things. Thank you so much for being here. I've loved tonight. I've loved today, getting a video back up there, getting back out there on the YouTube thing after what seems like an age. So that's great. And hopefully we're back on course. So, of course, it's Thursday night. That's the last of the official live streams for this week. But I might well pop in over the weekend just for half an hour at on tomorrow night or Saturday night, or even probably not Sunday night. I hope you all have a great weekend if I don't see you. I know a lot of you are planning to go to shows. Obviously weekends are more difficult for me. But I'm still not sure about Monday. I would love to take Wetleg to Llandudno on Monday. The weather looks like it's going to be warm. There's a warning of storms. But, you know, it would mean missing mustard. But, you know, it's 1 week. So, I don't know. I'm still desperately wanting to go to the seaside for the day. And Wetleg would be the card of choice, I think. But, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, darlings, I'm going to bugger off. Thank you so much. And here we go. Right, darlings, sending so much love to all of you who need a bit of love right now. Whatever you're dealing with or struggling with, then, you know, sending love and strength to you. Hope you get through it all, and keep your heads above water. Thank you for keeping my own head above water over the last week especially, and just generally. And thank you all for being there. Thank you all for your support. Have a fabulous weekend if I don't see you before. And have a safe and peaceful night. Take great care of yourselves. Sleep tight, my lovelies. Catch you soon. Bye-bye.